Hi, this is Michelle Langston, and I'm a concierge wrangler at Automatic, and this is week 5, part 2 of the Global Classroom. In part 1, we talked about WordPress themes. We discussed what a theme is, and where to find a theme, and how to install a theme. And we ended the lesson by installing the Ixion theme. Now it's time to move on to part 2, where we're going to customize and set up the theme further. We're going to cover the following. How do you find instructions in which to set up a theme after you install it? Then we're going to walk through setting up the home page, which includes a custom header image, a call to action, and featured content area. We're going to talk about custom menus, and we'll wrap up with talking about configuring widgets. So I will see you in the lesson. Let's dive into setting up the Ixion theme, which we installed in the previous lesson. This is how the Save to Bees site looks after I activate the Ixion theme. Now, if you remember, the Ixion theme had a nice large header image along with a call to action and 3 featured content areas below it. It was perfect for a nonprofit site. But my site doesn't look like that right now. So we're going to walk through the steps on making a site look the way that it does in the screenshot. Now, you'll want to make sure you can find the instructions for setting up a theme. Usually the theme author will have a page on their site with instructions for setting up a theme. And you can find the link to the theme homepage if you go to the themes listing inside the wordpress.org theme directory. Just search for the theme and then look on the right column and you'll click on theme homepage. And the theme author will provide all the setup instructions. And it's important to note that every theme might do things a little bit differently. But this theme, Ixion, all the instructions that I'm going to be walking through today can be found on this page. So if you want to try playing around with Ixion on your own, you can find them if you go to you can find the instructions at wordpress.com/themes/Ixion. And I'll put a link in the resources section at the end of this lesson. So let's go ahead and make our home page look more similar to what we see here. The first thing we'll want to do is set the static home page. Right now, when I go to the home page, I'm seeing my latest posts. But instead, I would like to make it show a page. So to do all of the theme customizations, we're going to be using the WordPress Customizer. So if you want to go to your dashboard, then go to Appearance and then Customize. And the Customizer has lots of options for customizing the look and feel of your site. So we're going to start off by setting a static front page. And right now, my page is configured to be a blog where it's showing the latest posts. But instead, I want to show a static page. I want it to, because it's more of a website, it's a nonprofit website. So what I want to use is I can choose any page to be my home page. In this case, I want home. It's just a page that I've created as a placeholder page to be the home page. And when I did that, it's now showing the content of this page called home in the home page section. So this is the page content here. And as you can see, when I set it at the static page, the theme, it pulls in the page content, and it also, behind the scenes, it pulls in the recent posts in a nice little list here, sort of like what you can see in the screenshot. And that's all done automatically by the theme. It uses a template called home page template or front page. So it does all of this automatically. And then I still want to have a blog. I still want a place where people can go and see all my posts. So you can tell WordPress that you want your post page to be one of these pages. And in this case, I've created a placeholder page called blog. So we'll go ahead and set it to blog. And then it's showing me this is the blog page. So this is the page that is going to automatically show all of the latest posts. And then I'm just going to go ahead and save. And let's take a look at the site. And there we have it. So now let's move on to setting up the header image. So going back to the home page, the Ixion theme uses the built-in WordPress header image as a large image in the header. So I clicked on Customizer, then Header Image, and then I don't currently have a header image set. So I'm going to click on Add New Image. And you'll see some themes will make recommendations on an image dimensions, and Ixion recommends 1080 pixels wide by 500 pixels tall. And it's important to make sure that whatever image you use for the header is at least within these dimensions. Otherwise, your image will appear cut off or too small. So you want to make sure that your image is at least within these minimum dimensions for best results. And if you can even crop an image down to that specific size if you'd like. So I'm at the media library. These are images that are already uploaded to my site. And if I have another new file I wanted to upload, I would just click on the Upload Files tab. And then I could either drag a file into this window, or I could just click Select Files to navigate to a folder on my computer where the file is located. But in this case, I have the image that I would like to use. This nice picture of the sunflowers. And I'm going to go, it's a little bit larger than the recommended size, but at least it's within these dimensions. And it gives me the opportunity to crop the image. So I could make it smaller, or I could even make it more narrow. But in this case, I'm just going to leave it as it is and crop. And there we have it. And the image that even has the black overlay to make it easier to read the text on top of it. And that was automatically controlled by the themes. So it's a nice touch. So now you can see that your current header image. So if you wanted to change it in the future, you could come back here and click on Add New Image. And if you add a bunch of images, you even have the option to randomize your header. So it gives you a different header image each time. But in this case, I'm satisfied with just the one header image. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Save. So now I'm going to go ahead and set up the call to action. The call to action, if you remember, is this nice gold button, because I'm a nonprofit, so I would like to give users something to do right away when they come to my site. And I would like them to go to my donation page as my call to action. So let's go back to the customizer. And according to the Ixion theme instructions, I can find the call to action button in the theme options section. And a lot of themes will have theme-specific options. So theme options are options that only appear in this one theme. So if I click on theme options, I can see that it has a nice little interface for managing the call to action button. So I can put in the button text. In this case, I'm going to type in make a donation. And as you can see, it just appears right in the customizer. And then I can put in the link, and I want it to go to my donation page. And then I'm going to hit Save and Publish. And I've got a nice call to action button. So if we reload our page, you can see that the site is coming along. And now I've got to my donation page. I go home. It looks nice. So now we're going to set up the featured section. So it looks like we have 3 featured content areas. And according to the Ixion themes instruction, you have to use the featured content module, and that's part of the Jetpack plugin. Now, when I first activated this theme, I had a little notification at the top of my dashboard notifying me that additional features to use the theme can be found in the Jetpack plugin. So the theme will still function without it. But if you just want to enhance your theme and add the additional support for certain features, then they recommended installing a Jetpack plugin. So I installed the Jetpack plugin, and now as soon as I installed the Jetpack plugin, I had this new option called Featured Content appear in my customizer. And then it lets me set a tag. So in this case, I'm going to set the word featured for the tag I'd like to use. And you can use any tag name you want. These are the tags you would associate with posts or pages. And in the case of Ixion, it'll work with either posts or pages that contain this tag. So if you give a tag, if you give a post or a page a tag of featured, it'll show the 3 latest ones in the featured area. So let's go ahead, and now that we've set that tag, let's go ahead and make some pages. Let's tag our about page, our contact page, and our donate page so that they will show up in this featured area. So I'm going to exit the customizer, and I'm going to go to my pages. I'm going to go to all pages, and let's start with the about page. And I can quickly set the tags if I go to quick edit. Then I can just type in featured, and then I can update it. So that's the quick editing feature that edit things really fast. And then I'm going to go ahead and see if it's updated my featured area. Aha! So now I got my about page right here. So let's do the same thing with some of our other pages, such as the content. But this time I'm going to go to the full editing section. And I want to set the word featured here. I can go into the tag manager here inside the posts. And let's click on update. Now let's take a look at it, see how it looks. Now I don't have a featured image, so that's why it turns into a black background. So I can come back to the page and I can set a featured image. And then this will let me decide, let's see what image I would like to use for Contact Us. And I've got a variety of images to choose from. But let's select this nice flowers. Then I can just go to update. And I've got my featured image. Now I want to set my third image in the middle. Now the order here was controlled currently by the order in which the page was created. So it's going to show the latest page first. So the contact page was created probably after the about page. So that's why it's showing it in a different order. But you can set the page order in a bit, which I will show you. But let me add the donation page next. And I'm going to set a featured image as well on the donation page. Tag it with featured. And a featured image is just an image that you can, it kind of works similar to a custom header, except with a featured image you just, the theme will automatically set the image to the dimensions that, that have been configured for the theme. And you can always swap out images. If you decide you want to use a different featured image, you just click on remove featured image, and then you can either upload a new one or add one that's previously uploaded. And check with the theme instructions to find out the recommended featured image sizes. And I'm going to click on update. And now I have my three pages. So I have managed so far to set up the home page that is looking more like what we see here. We have the contact section, we have the donate section, we have the about section. And one thing you can notice here is that, and this is something you might run into, is that sometimes the image sizes you may have to play around with, such as if one image is taller and the other one is shorter, the theme will make adjustments. So you'll have to kind of play around with like setting the sizes of your images Like in this case, the donate image, it's a little bit taller than the featured image for the contact and the about section. But if we wanted to try to make the image different, if I wanted to make an adjustment, I can set a different featured image, maybe one that's not as quite as tall. As you can see, this one was more square and the other ones were more rectangular. Let's try this one. And now you can see that the images are a lot more closer in size. So that concludes this first portion. Come back later and we will be, to the next section, and we will be talking about custom menus and setting up the menu the way we want it. And we'll also talk about setting up the widgets areas. So I'll see you around.